Hello, welcome back to another little ramble in the woods. Today I'm going to talk about branding, what that is. It's basically just the perception that people have of you. And, I used to just think it was things like Nike and Apple that were brands. But the perception that people have of things can be as wide ranging from, myself to media, to news, or even just a philosophy. We have to brand climate change as something that is logical and makes sense, and we have to brand capitalism as evil, more or less. And then that's it. The perception is influenced by, one, your actions, like things you actually do. But increasingly, I feel it's more influenced just by words, and empty words at that have no follow through and are just a lot of lip service. For example, the ceasefire that's happening with Iran. That's not fucking happening. We're being fed slop, on a string to keep pulling us along so that we keep, well, not me, but they keep in positions of power, people like Trump. But, why did I come to the conclusion that branding isn't just for companies? It's for everything. It helps that I went to school for management and marketing, especially on the marketing side, because that is basically just how you get across your brand is marketing. What you say, what you do, is marketing. And so I was able to realize, you can market a lot more than just a company. You can market your philosophy, your ideology. Essentially what I'm doing right now, I'm trying to create a personal brand that isn't, just my resume. And this also ties into how every aspect of modern life has been commodified. You have a value on the dating market. You have a value in the labor market. You buy things of value, those are all branded. And you can't even just enjoy like a hobby, like going outside and hunt and like fishing. For me, there are people who are diehard for like certain brands. Like I'm not gonna buy Sitka or St. Croix with their crazy expensive reels and rods. Like I am a use value person, not an exchange value. I don't really care about the brand, the perception of it. If it gets the job done, what else do I need it for? I don't need it as a badge of, oh, I'm such an expert fisher, I only use the nicest stuff. Or, for example, on the dating market side, I wrote down clavicular. That dumb motherfucker won't go on a date unless it's streamed, because he doesn't see the ROI or the return on investment. Like, he doesn't see people as people. He sees them as a number, as an investment, basically just a cog in the machine for him. And that's not what I think people are for. And a lot of times we'll hear words like propaganda or fake news thrown around to label things that you just simply don't like as bad, and it helps discredit anything that doesn't go along with your existing ideology or brands that you subscribe to. And what kind of personal brands are there? You have your curated Instagram and Facebook feed, so that people have a perception of you, a world traveler, a philanthropist, a partner, so that they get this snapshot of all your highlights. But that's not you. That's not all of you. Like, I mean, that's you, yes, but that's just like even your idealized form. Like, if I look at my own Instagram, like, yeah, those are some of the best parts of my life. Like, why would I share like some of the most embarrassing and like worst parts of my life? And you know, like, why do we even bother creating this brand on Instagram? We're not influencers, most of us. We are just communicating with our own friends and family, and yet there's this need to like keep up with the Joneses and outdo other people, you know, travel more, spend more, experience more. God damn, bugs are biting me. Or, for example, networking in college, or I guess, you know, outside of college as well. I was gonna sneeze. I could, you know, slut myself out for some wage labor, like, thanks to that network now. So I guess my brand is doing all right. Another way that I think you can affect your personal brand is by biting your tongue when you see something or think something and just want to go along with the crowd, you know, be another face, not create waves. You know, you want to be liked, you want to be part of the in group. And, you know, that's nice. It's good to be pleasant and, you know, sociable, but we no longer live in hunter-gatherer tribes. Like, if you cannot actually come to a reasonable middle ground with someone, like, you just don't have to interact with them anymore. Like, you can find more friends and more jobs and more everything. But that's also not always the healthiest mindset. Like, some things are meant to be mended. Like, some arguments are good to have. It's not always the end of a relationship, you know. There's a fine line for sure. I mean, well, you can also struggle to make new friends because, you know, we've been so alienated on how to socialize outside of social media or the internet that just saying hello to a stranger is so scary to some people. Like, the crippling anxiety prevents you from saying just, hey, how's your day going? What are you up to? Like, oh, that's cool. Nice, nice. I'm actually here for something similar. Yada yada. Like, it's that simple. Like, I suppose what I'm really trying to get at is, if everything is just a brand and a perception created around something or someone, why should you bend your brand to someone else's will? Why should you comply with, you know, these ideas and actions that you don't agree with? What if, you know, you actually built up your own internal values enough to, you know, not intentionally trying to brand yourself, but, you know, it's a personality, it's character traits. Like, they just naturally are flowing out of people and things. Like, that doesn't seem so bad to me, but it can be tough to live true to like your own image and be who you want to be. Like, there's all these pressures telling you that you have to get this job, you have to go to this school, you know, you have to impress these people. These are the people you should be talking to. They know how to get you places. But what if I don't want to be those places? I don't want to be around those people. I guess that's a lot easier said than done. Because I guess right now I am compliant and I am branding myself out there. I've done a whole bunch of job interviews recently, which I think is what I want to make my next video on, the job hunt. And I mean, all these things I'm telling employers are me, but it's just like a canned, like, quick pitch, which I again get, because like there's only so much that you can tell a person in 30 minutes about yourself, or like what you're good at or what your goals are. So you kind of have to know what you're going to say, but I also know what they want to hear. Like, I can't just say, yeah, I want this job because I have bills to pay. Nothing about your company interests me. So I guess that's an example of me not being completely honest to my own brand, but you know, I guess you gotta bend the knee a little bit sometimes.